Wellness Show, episode 131.
Welcome to the Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyhson Banighen, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. So welcome to the show, and we have a return visit with Laura Fenamore, and I'm excited to have her back on the call because she's dealing with a topic that is really dear to my heart, and that is body image. You know, feeling comfortable in your body is probably one of the biggest problems for so many people on the planet right now, especially when 50% of America or more is obese. Getting up in the morning, feeling good about yourself, getting yourself out of bed and having enough energy to get through the day, for a lot of people, is difficult. But guess what? There's ways to do this with ease and grace. It doesn't have to be difficult. And Laura's here to help us do that. So, Laura, welcome to the return visit to the show.
Oh, I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much, Tyson. Thank you. Yay, honored to be here.
It's an honor to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you used the word grace, because grace is a very powerful word. Because my old way of being in the world was to control everything. And while I do have to have some control and habits and, a timing, I have to mostly just go with the flow. And I call that surrendering into grace. And it's just kind of like there's my timing and then there's God's timing. And they're not always the same. And for me, I just get these little reminders when I ask to let go and surrender, and then I start controlling things. The universe will give me reminders like, that's not what you asked for. It's not what you asked for. Or if I ask for something and then I'm suffering and going, oh, this is horrible, I get these little sweet little reminders. You asked for this. I didn't say it was going to be easy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I want to say something sort of silly. I think it just came to me, and Grace is my best girlfriend. Really, I could hang out with Grace 24/7, 365. She's the ideal partner. So much better than stress and duress. Mm-hmm. Grace is sweet. Mm-hmm. She's always there. She's got something pleasant to say to you. It's the divine flow. It's effortless. Why would we want to live our way, our life any other way than to hang out with Grace? So she is my best girlfriend. I love her dearly. I forget sometimes what it is to be with Grace because I get so caught up in my own struggle. So talking about being caught up in your own struggle, you've come from that struggle in your life to where you are now. Mm-hmm. So tell us a bit about that struggle.
Mm-hmm. So you get to see the smile now, but it wasn't always a smile, actually. It was a big frown of depression, actually. So Tyson, when I was 24, I was planning my exit off of planet Earth. I was trying to figure out the best way for me to kill myself. And most 24-year-olds are, dealing with how to get a job and graduating from college and, being a little bit wild. But I took wild to a whole new level. It was really out of control. When I was 24, I was 100 pounds heavier. I was an alcoholic. I was using drugs. I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And I was really in a tremendous amount of depressive state. And I hated myself. I mean, there wasn't anything that anyone could say to me that would convince me that I belonged here. I didn't really like who I was. I felt out of control with my addictions. I was extremely sophisticated in the sense that I could talk about being an addict, but I didn't think I would ever heal from it or get over it or anything like that. So, taking you back a little bit further, I was born into a large Italian Catholic family, 8 kids. I was the last. And by the time I came out, my mom was pretty overwhelmed with having 7 children and a crazy husband. A husband who beat her, who ridiculed her, who basically terrorized her on a daily basis. So number 8 was like, give me a bottle and that'll take care of everything. And I soothed myself from the beginning with food. Food became my nurture and comforter, and fat became my protector. I protected myself from the world with fat. And, you know, it was my shield. And I could say it was my shield, but again, I didn't see that there was any way out of this. So, you know, I hated my father, I hated my mother, I hated everything that had happened. A traumatic experience happened when I was 11 and I was put into foster care, and I went and lived with strangers, and that was very traumatic. And I continued to use and abuse addictions even more. So by the time, again, I was 24, I was like, I'm done. And this angel came into my life. She just kind of twinkled her way in. And she was the first person in the world, really, because I had had some close relationships. She was the first person that made me believe that there was another way. And she basically told me the line from AA, which is, I'm going to love you until you learn to love yourself. And of course, you know, when you're 24 and you're suicidal and you're crazy, you don't know what that means. But it had a big enough impression on me that I took the next step and I trusted her. And, you know, here I am at almost 54, you know, whatever she did worked. And I have this little angel on my desk, which I have angels all over the place, but this is really symbolic. Even though she was an African-American woman, this is symbolic of the angel that always guides me today still. So, you know, she led me to the 12-step programs, which led me to this journey that I've been on all these years. And I really had this ridiculous illusion that if I could just get clean and sober and lose the weight, I'd be fine. All my problems would go away. And I got that that wasn't true. I got thin. It took me years to be comfortable in my body. I'm not going to lie and say it happened overnight. I still hated my body as a thin person. It was never good enough. And I got clean and sober and was proud of, you know, haven't picked up a drink or a drug in almost 30 years, but I still I didn't feel content with myself or good about myself. But I had a father who told me every day I shouldn't have been born. So it took me a long time to get over that programming and to forgive him and to forgive myself. So I talk a lot about that in my book and offer a tremendous amount of tools that help people start to like and love and accept themselves at any size, age, and weight. Because I believe, Tyson, that until we accept ourselves, we can't love ourselves. So.
Yeah, definitely. We can't even love the world that we live in. So it's really is a hellish world that we create for ourselves. So how did this angel show up in your life? Was there some event that happened that allowed this to happen?
I worked at a bar and she was in there. And that's how I met her at a bar. So angels come in all peculiar ways. So, really, I mean, that is the true story. And the truth is, you know, I was a bartender. I was out of control. I was completely out of control. So I say that I want to say grace. That's the answer. That's the answer.
So was it an earth angel then? Was it a human being?
Absolutely.
Right. Well, I think that that's pretty neat because when I think of you and what you offer, you're being an earth angel for other people, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and mirror, my dear, mirror, you too. Yeah. I think that I don't think that what you or I do is, it's special in its own way. We're not special in that we are different from people, but we have made a commitment to consciousness. And it's true that not everybody's up for that, but it's up for everybody. It's possible for everybody. But whether or not people choose that I can't control, nor do I want to. But I don't think of myself as special in that, you know. I mean, I feel like Grace handed me a light beam and said, here, wake up. And I said, okay, I'm going to wake up, and, you know, I'm going to bring people into my tribe that want to wake up too. And, you know, that's just...
It's sort of like an infinite chain. I sort of see it as an infinite chain, you know, sort of I receive a hand up from somebody above me back to the light, and I reach down and give a hand up to the person below me, and they do the same, and we all help each other up the ladder. And, you know, it does take a community to learn and grow. We don't do this.
Light workers.
We can't do this on our own. So if you're stuck and you are suffering and you're in this dilemma, I'm not feeling good about yourself for whatever reason, and one of the main reasons being weight, then for God's sake or for your sake, reach out and to an earth angel for some help, because that's your first step. So that's what Laura's here for you. So if you're on this call and that's you, you feel called, then please respond. So this book is full of all sorts of tips, right, to help you get back on track.
Yeah. So it's my story, but it's my story plus the tools that I used along the path that helped me get grounded, get solid. And I also talk a lot about my clients, because I've been doing this work for a while now, and I've had clients that have come to me with absolute resolution that nothing has worked for them, nor nothing will work for them. And yeah, maybe they'll try this too, but nothing's worked, nothing will work. And first thing we have to do is change that belief and thought system and that mentality. Because if we believe nothing's going to work, then nothing's going to work. And if we believe that we're damaged goods, we're damaged goods. You know, I think that our thoughts are mirrored through our lives. And you know, for people that are really struggling around this, it's changing the mind, not changing the body. And that's the flip-flop, because we're trained to believe if we could just change our bodies, we'll be okay. First, we have to change this.
So how do you help people make that transition to begin to love themselves?
Well, I say now, because it's so true, that acceptance comes before self-love. So acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. I have to accept all the parts of me, the parts that I really don't like and want to disown, the parts of me that are, you know, I'm embarrassed about, I'm shamed about. And those are the things that people, you know, I was talking to somebody this morning, and she was saying, you know, I see myself in the mirror at the gym, and I just start, like, I can't even look at myself, let alone, I just start screaming like, you look disgusting, you big fat pig, you this, you that, all that mental ridicule that's going on. That's not self-acceptance. That is the voice of the critical archetype who is just relentless. And so while we can't deny that voice, we don't want to fuel it. And we only fuel it by agreeing with it, but we counter it, Tyson, by lovingly or sternly talking to ourselves sensibly, like Grace would talk to us. Like, you know, I know it's scary looking at your body right now, but really, you're more than your body. You are more than your body. And or you're working on improving yourself, saying something that counteracts that voice. And once the commitment is made to doing that, it's so much easier. But I would say that step one is that you make a commitment that you're ready, willing, and able to change. And, if I could hand somebody a diet and tell them to drink water and sleep a lot and go to the gym or go move and all their problems would go away, well, then guess what? I would have found the fountain of, but I don't promise anyone any of that's going to happen until they work on the mind. So that's where we start. And we start by doing things like looking at your physical environment, where you're living, where you're working, who you're hanging out with. If all of that stuff is completely misaligned, how do you make any permanent changes? Like, I've had women come to me and, I hate my job, I hate my husband, I hate this, I hate that, I hate that, I hate my body. Well, guess what? It's a lot of hatred. How do you change anything in that kind of environment? First, we have to start chipping away at, believing that it's possible to change one of those things.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like the answer to that is gratitude. So helping people just appreciate what they do have instead of looking at what they don't have. And I guess that's a lot. We spend most of our times complaining. At least a lot of us do, right? We can tell you for endless hours what we don't.
But I'm telling you that I think that there are a lot of people that stay in situations that are toxic,
mm-hmm.
and they do not believe that there's any way out. It's way easier to say, I'm a victim of this and there's no way out, than it is to say, I got to make some different choices. So just to introduce somebody to the idea that they have another choice, it seems silly to you and I, but it's very common that people don't see that they have choices. Very common. Very common. I say that, I'm reacting because I've recently talked to, and I actually have a student who were in very long-term, like decades of years of being in jobs that they hated. How do you go to a job every day for 30 years and hate it? People do it all the time.
Yeah, it's part of our culture.
That's not healthy.
It's part of our culture of shut up and fit in and behave yourself and get a job and climb the corporate ladder and be successful. And if you're still healthy,
it's not even necessarily climb the corporate ladder. It's like, I'm in a mundane job that I hate and I don't see any way out, and there's nothing else for me, and I'm over 50, so I'm too old, and so then I just go home every night and I eat.
Right.
So that's the way to cope, and there's another way to cope with life than food.
All right. So for those people that might be on the call listening to this and it's ringing a bell for them, and you're actually describing them, then what?
Well, there's lots of hope and help in the world. You're not alone, whether you think about it or whether you think you are or not. And if you're somebody that isolates and is really afraid, there's even help and hope for you. So, Tyson's a great resource, and I'm a great resource. My website is skinnyfatperfect.com, and I have tools there that are free. I teach free classes. My book on Amazon is like the price of a cup of coffee. There are ways to get support and help that, don't have to take you down or anything like that. So I think if there's any message that I have for people is, no matter how scary it may be, the most powerful thing that you could do is take one action, just one action step, just one. And, every once in a while, I do a lot of inner work, and I do a lot of classes and stuff like that, but it never gets old me hearing people talk about how one action step can lead to lots of positive stuff. It's like I did this one thing that I was afraid to do, and then all of a sudden doors started opening, things started. And a great example of one of my students who was really afraid, she was like, I mean, to tell you that she wrote like one of the nastiest messages to me, like, I don't want your brand of work, and you know, nothing's worked for me and nothing ever will, and you know, you stink. And I'm like, I challenge you to get on a call with me. And she has had a rock solid belief that the world is out to get her and that nothing is safe, no one is trustworthy, and she has manifested that over and over and over in her life. And so for me to come in, I know it's true for you and you believe all that, but well, she's one of those people that believed that she could never get another job, could never ever think about eating healthy, and all of that is starting to slowly, as resistant as she was, her soul, grace, whatever you want to call it, was screaming, I need help. And, you know, I don't take responsibility for that. I am so proud of her, for as scary as this is, that she got another job. She's starting to have boundaries with her family, and things are starting to change and shift. And, you know, it's a little scary for her, but she is so sick of just hating everything about her life. So people do change, Tyson. You know that. You see it.
So what was it that you said or did to help her go from that, nothing's going to change, I've tried everything, you know, I'm going to eat worms and then I'm going to die, or whatever it is, you know, that sort of that end point. Don't talk to me because I've already done it all and have the t-shirts and all the rest of that, but so you really can help me. I know for you it's a plea, and probably it's music to your ears because it means that the person's about ready to make the transformation because they tried everything else. But how do you help them at least make that first step, that first choice to change their direction?
Well, you know, I provide safe space, and a lot of times people can't handle it. And like, I had somebody this week who had that same situation. Nothing's worked, everything is, and she sobbed while we were talking, but she's not ready. Too scared. So it doesn't always work that people are ready.
Right.
But when they are, I can tell usually with this other person. She talked to me. She said, I'm not ready. I don't want this at all. And I think I talked to her last fall. And she kept staying in my Facebook group. And I just kept checking in with her and saying, how are you? And, you know, everything's the same. And in December, she wrote me and said, I don't think I can go through another year like this. And so, you know, a lot of times people use New Year's as a new beginning, and people use whatever they can. And so we started working together in January, and I'm telling you, in 4 months, she's like a different person. First of all, she got another job.
Right.
Actually, that came after we first talked. That was the first thing that came from just even talking to her for free. She's like, I have to get out of this job. I'm going to kill myself if I don't leave after 30 years of working for a very, very, very nasty person.
So it seems to me that the first step really is to phone you. That even if you don't believe that Laura can do anything for you, you've done it all before, and you just had you're at the end of your rope, still make that phone call, because it provides you that lifeline. It provides that opportunity for another possibility to show up. So even if you're not ready, Laura can create a safe space for you to be able to dwell in, to be able to tell your story. She can listen to you and is there for you. And even that helps you just get it all out of your system to somebody who's been there, done that, and got out the other side. So that's really important. And that's your first step.
Yeah, and I offer a free, you schedule it on my homepage. It's skinnyfatperfect.com. You just schedule a 30-minute consultation with me. So, yeah.
Great.
Because
so I hear you got a new course coming up.
I do. It's actually my body image mastery class, which is a life changer for a lot of women. It's an amazing opportunity to be together. Class is actually held in a classroom like this, like on Zoom, and we meet once a week for 12 weeks, and we change together, we grow together, we connect together. And when women come to this class, they are ready, willing, and able to, like, I call it the PhD program, your personal health degree. You gotta just, can't come unless you're ready to do the work. And the work is, I offer a 12-week workbook, which has a lesson every week about, moving through the deeper, more difficult stuff that people are very resistant to. But when they do want to open that door, it's like Pandora's box. This whole new world of possibility opens. And it's going to be easier with food and with scale and with your body. Because, Tyson, I said in the beginning that before self-love has to come self-acceptance. But really, the first thing that people need to hear is that you will never succeed in this game being at war. And if you continue to be at war with yourself and with your body, it's a very difficult thing to try to change when you're at war. I mean, those of us that resist war know that war does not bring peace. Peace brings peace. And, this isn't about what I believe or anything like that, but I do wish that I could live in a world that didn't have war in any way, shape, or form. That's my wish.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that I don't respect and, military and all of that. But I really do know that war has proven that war is war.
So how many people are able to come into this class? Do you have do you have a top number, or how does that work?
There's been anywhere from 20 to 30 women.
Oh, good.
I love it.
Great. So there's lots of room for people on the call to join you and participate, right? And so when is this launch date?
Well, the class is going to start on May 16th, 2017. And I am actually teaching a class leading up to it, a free 1-hour webinar. And it's called Do You Hate the Way You Look and Feel? 3 proven ways to get off diets and to get the body you've always wanted and to just get yourself off of chronic dieting. And I'm gonna specifically talk about 3 ways to do that. And then invite people to come to the class, because the class is where the real work happens.
Well, that sounds wonderful. And we're just right now getting near the end of the show, and it was great to have you back on the show and offer all this opportunity to take people to the next level, to help them love their bodies, to show up and learn that this is a beautiful planet to live on. You don't have to be on your couch suffering. You can reach out to Laura and make the first step. So once again, it's great to have you on the show, and we'll be in touch.
Oh, I love being here, Tyson. Thank you so much for re-inviting me. I appreciate it a lot.
You're most welcome. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.